Hello, welcome to the QMS Certification channel. My name is Julie Harlow, and today we're going to talk about the 8 steps needed to obtain ISO certification for your company. Before I start, I'm going to ask you to like this video so that you can receive more notifications about content relevant to your organization's ISO certification. Don't forget to follow the YouTube channel and also turn on the notifications bell. When we think about a company's ISO certification process, any management system certification standard is important. One of the first steps the organization needs to take is selecting the certification partner chosen for this important moment for the company. So the first step is to choose your partner. Choose well. Choose an organization that has a track record, that has experience, that has competence, accreditation, to give everyone credibility. All that work, all that effort you put in to get here. So that's step 1. Secondly, after you've done a good deal of research, you look for information about this organization and get in touch with this certifier and get to know it a little better. Treat your certification body as a supplier, so see how it handles your case, how it seeks to understand your needs, the commercial negotiation, the certifier. They need to have an open channel of communication with their clients, answer all your questions so that you can move on to the next step smoothly. So the second step is to get in touch. Find out more about your chosen certification body. Normally, the process of selecting a certification body takes place while your organization is still in the process of implementing its management system. When you're halfway through, you already start to think that you need certification, and often before an internal audit, before you've completed your cycle. Have you already made contact and chosen your organization? Then, once you've chosen it, you'll finish implementing your management system. You'll have made sure that you've done the full PDCA cycle, carried out an internal audit, carried out a critical analysis by management, and ensured that all the most important points of nonconformity have been dealt with, and then you'll be able to schedule your certification audit. Finally, now that you've made the appointment, aligned the dates with your certification body, you know who your auditor is? You'll receive the Stage 1 audit, the desk audit, and this moment, which is step number 4 here in our step-by-step, is when the auditor goes to the organization. This can happen remotely or in person. It will find out how this organization has sought to meet the standards compliance requirements. So at this stage, stage 4 here in our process, it is still a desk audit. It's a preparation audit. So, the auditor will hold a meeting with those responsible, with the organization's managers, to understand, to listen, much more to listen than to ask questions at this point. So he will want to understand how the organization has structured its management system. What are the main documents that report or portray how this management system has been structured? Who are the main people involved? Who is responsible? Who are the authorities? What are the main indicators that were raised there? Have you completed the step? Have you carried out an internal audit? Have you carried out a critical analysis of your management system? All of these validations will be done in an initial stage that we call the phase audit, which is the moment when the auditor will check whether or not the company is ready to go on to the next step. The next step, which is the conformity assessment audit, the conformity assessment audit we call Stage 2. Stage 2. At this point, yes, the auditor will be in your organization with the aim of verifying that all the requirements of the ISO standard you have chosen for your organization, be it ISO 9001, 14001 and 27001, the discipline you have chosen and understanding what makes sense in that organization. It will be there to assess compliance with requirements. What does that mean? It means that they will check whether all the requirements of that standard have been met properly and whether there have been any deviations. To do this, he uses some tools, some auditing techniques, for example, document analysis, but also interviews with people, assessment of the environment. He'll look at how the processes are developed, he'll ask people things, he'll look at the results that are posted on the wall. So he will look at the organization's website, he will evaluate audit trails and records that the organization has made throughout the implementation and the last of its last activities to assess whether those records, whether those activities are in accordance or not with the requirements demanded by the ISO standard you have chosen. So this is a fundamental step. Essential is the main certification audit. Step number 5 here in our step-by-step, and it has the objective of making a certification recommendation. So it's important for the organization to understand that the auditor who comes to your company or the audit team, they have the objective of seeking to make a recommendation or not of the management system for certification. Once that system has been recommended, we move on to the next step. The next step is a technical assessment of the office, so the auditor goes to the end, collects evidence, talks to people, makes a record in the audit report, and this record is reported to the offices of certification bodies that have a technical assessor or a certification decision team that will analyze whether there is enough evidence that has been collected to make the certification decision. Then the decision is made. It's an internal moment, step number 6. It's an internal moment for the certification body, and it will seek to validate that all the criteria for certification have been met, not only if the organization has complied with the standard, but also if all the rest of the organizations and all the rest of the requirements have been met. It's about certification. So that's step number 6. It's a fundamental step, essential for the purpose of obtaining certification. When this step is successfully completed, your organization will have its certificate issued. Step number 7 is the achievement step, where the certificate is issued. We finally send the certificate to your organization. You can publicize it, commemorate it, celebrate it with your team. Remember that this is the first step in a long process of improving your organization. So this is when you understand that you have started a routine and a path to continuously improve your quality management system for safety, information, occupational safety, and all the disciplines involved in the ISO standard you have chosen. So congratulations! If you've got as far as step number 7, which is the stage of issuing the certificate, and finally, step number 8 concerns the maintenance of this management system. So it's not enough for you to obtain certification, but to ensure that it is maintained over time. It is expected that every year the company will undergo a surveillance audit to ensure that the renewal cycle is adequate and to maintain the validation of its certificate. So, the ISO certificate is initially valid for 3 years, as long as the company keeps up a routine of audits and maintenance, and every 3 years we do a new rectification audit, looking again at the whole cycle, all the requirements, and assessing whether the company is still committed to that discipline, to that initial commitment to improving quality, improving safety, and improving the bribery controls it initially adopted. So these are the steps we need to take to obtain ISO certification. Do you have any questions? Leave your comments and questions below. We'll be happy to make sure that you are, and it's very transparent that you are, sure about the step-by-step process towards the certification. See you next time.